Familiar face, right? If not, it's J Wandoe, host of The Doe Spot. The Doe Spot. The DOE. DOE stands for Discussions of Experiences. And we come here today bringing some experiences from another perspective. Today I have with me a special guest of mine who is, I'll let him introduce himself. But before we get into who he is, I just wanted to let you guys know that I appreciate everyone that has been watching, that has been sharing. I'm noticing that my objective in this podcast game is finally starting to show up. I didn't go into it with the perspective of, oh, I want to get a certain amount of followings, but just to get the message out there and show everyone and show God more so that I'm being obedient, that I'm doing what He's called me to do. So now we got that out the way. Um, on the show, we show gratitude. I didn't really go through the intro stuff. I'm not going to do that today, but show gratitude. We show love to our guests. We show love to anyone out there who wants to come on. Invitation is open. So today I have my guest Samuel Wright. Great to meet you. We met through, internet. It's kind of like the club now,
Yeah.
club IG, where we meet people, we see people we're aligned with, and we'll just get to know each other. I'm pretty sure if he start talking, I'm going to hear people that we know. We haven't gone over that off camera, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna have some connections we probably didn't even know about. So Sam, man, thanks for coming on. Thanks for your time, and let the people know who you are if they don't know already.
Hey, brother. First, I want to thank you for having me on your spot, man.
Absolutely.
I've been following you on the type of content that you make, and that's what we need in the community. And we just need people like, hey, I got a platform. I'm gonna share it and giving it to the people, and letting them take it where it is. But no, I'm, like you just shared, man. Samuel Wright, an author, an educator, and just an overall black person trying to, give people what I learned and share it with the people. So just glad to be here, man. We've been trying to make this happen for a minute. You got life. I got some upcoming life changes as well. Things all tied in. So
Do
I'm just glad
you
we
do?
talk. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool, brother. And the first thing you mentioned was Arthur, and along with that, you're gonna show your material.
Yeah, man. So this is my most recent work for Black men who need therapy and never got it. It came out last month, man. So I've been sounding the bell, trying to get everybody to get a copy of it, man. And what I did was I was just trying to give people some principles. I think the best way I kept telling people was just some perspectives and some tools, for deal with everything that comes in our lives.
Right. And it's a lot to digest. I did read the book. It took me about 3 weeks. I was doing some traveling, so I try to read on the plane. I don't do well with that because I fall asleep on planes. Some people say, "Oh, I can't fall asleep on a plane." I can. As soon as I sit down, some days, flight attendant going through the checks, and I'm just like, the main part. Once I completed the book last week, and I'm glad I did. I say that for one. I'm glad I got to it. I am in therapy myself. I'm currently in therapy. I'm currently learning about therapy as a social worker, working on my master's program. So there's so many elements in the book where I could tell, yeah, this brother is an educator. It's not just surface level information. It's deep diving. It's something that you may need to go have a dictionary in one hand, a Bible in another hand. You need to be prepared for it if you want to get the most out of it. And like you said, this is most recent work, so you can go back and check out in other works he has. But one important thing from the beginning, you talked about your parents. I don't have I do have both my parents, but you don't. But that didn't stop you from taking things that they taught you and still being willing to give it out, give whatever you have to give to the world. So I'm saying that because I know some people get in certain spaces where they have a loss of any sort, and they feel like they take the loss as well. They take it hard. So how would you say you were able or have been able to manage this loss and also create another life? Which I don't know if you want to talk about on camera, but
Yeah.
that's something you're about to go into. So just tell us about how that makes you feel as a black man, as a man who grew up under the education. Like you say, your father's educator. Y'all just got to read the book. I don't want to give too much away, but man, it's just a great book. But yeah, just go ahead, man. Tell us about it
No, no.
and about your.
Give them that perspective, man. Because
Mhm.
they just may not know because they haven't read it. But no, man, I think it was a good experience, man. My dad, like you said, my dad was an English teacher, man, and he used to kind of say a lot of the stuff that I write about in the book. I just didn't have a real understanding for it because you're young and you
Right.
have to have life experiences. But my dad would give me a lot of that perspective. My mom really more so was big on, regardless of how people treat you, show respect, be kind to people. She taught me about that part of it. She showed me the resilience part of it. And so, but she dealt with multiple sclerosis since like 1994. So when she passed in 2023, you know, it's not that I wasn't sad, but I was more, well, she's not in pain no more. So,
Mm,
I could rationalize it on one level. When my dad passed, you could rationalize it as well, but I think I more so felt like the weight of like, okay, well now, all the things he taught you growing up, you need to share those with people, with people who do know it, because that's what the next generation is going to need. You know what I'm saying? Ironically, yesterday was like the 1 year anniversary since he passed. It was a space to know, like, okay, a year ago, I started a new position. I lost my dad. It was a lot going on, but this year I'm in a much better place. And ironically, like, I'm expecting my first child in August. So that's a daughter. So I'm thankful for that, because I hadn't shared that publicly, like, and some other people know, but I hadn't shared it publicly. So God is amazing, and He gives you things
yes.
needed, and it's just funny how it works.
Right. Praise God, man. And my condolences for loss of your parents in what back to back years. So you're trying to be a husband, be a teacher, be an educator, write, process all of these things. And so as you're writing this book, how long did it take the book, and when did you like officially start the process? And that'll prompt my next question.
No, that's a good question. I think I started in 2023, so around the time my mom passed, because like what happened was, so she passed in December. She passed on Christmas 2023, and I was in Nigeria at the time, and so when I got back, of course, I'm just kind of processing everything that's going on, because now winter break gone, you back to work. You know what I'm saying? You know how that is. You come back from winter break, you back to
Yeah.
work. And now I just started looking for things to kind of read, to kind of get a better understanding. Man, I stumbled across Force versus Power by I think it's David Hawkins, and I started reading that, and I looked at a draft that I had of like some excerpts of different things. I was like, I should probably make like a little book or something, maybe like for black men who need things. Never got it, because I started learning things from it. I started piecing stuff from that. I started looking at books that my dad had in his library that he wasn't reading. I was like, man, let's just put it all together. And so I started it in like 2023. So probably like a year, probably about a year of looking at it. And then I had a young lady that I know as the editor. We know each other on a pretty well level, and so I sent her the text, and she gave me some thoughts, and we just started trying to work on it, and trying to edit it, because I realized I was probably going a little too heavy. I started trying to dilute it a little bit to make it more.
And I do that here. I take my sometimes I go through it. I know what I'm saying while I'm talking, but sometimes days I'm like, man, I've been talking for an hour. How can I break this down? How can I condense it? But then I have to realize, like, sometimes it's good to just put out what you got. Some people really need to hear, just like in your book, they need to see maybe there's a typo, maybe there's something misspelled, whatever going on in your life is because it's not going to be perfect. There's a lot of
Correct.
situations, like you said, you're going into a space where you're about to become or you are a father. So you're about to be, but you have to become an active father where you're having to change your mindset, your sleep patterns. I have 3 children, and my youngest is 2. So even still, I'm still going through the potty training phase. I'm still going through, and I'm older than I say most people raising toddlers. So it's challenging, but it's a beautiful thing, man. And the reason I asked about when you started was because the focus it took. I could imagine what it took for you to sit there and basically, because I read it like a diary, almost like a journal. So that's pretty much what this platform is, like my digital diary. It's something that I go to, and at times I go back and listen. I look at the people I have on, like, wow, like these people are disrupting their lives. They got other things going on, obviously, and just come talk to me. And not just more to talk to me, but to tell their story. So I appreciate you sharing that. I appreciate you taking the time, first and foremost. And with your own teaching, what are things that you feel are most important? Not necessarily like to you, but for men who need therapy. What are maybe a couple things that you feel like we're missing, or certain elements that we just don't see?
So that's a really good question, and I also wanted to commend you for you saying you taking your walk with therapy, because I'm really still in the
Mhm.
process of trying to find, I think, a good therapist. But I'm like, in the meantime, until I find something I think that fit, this will help. But I think the big thing and is and I think the overall point I kept making is like we just got to work on being integrated as men. Like I think the Jason Wilson guy is a very insightful motivational
Yes.
speaker,
Shout out, Jason.
and he talks a lot about like comprehensive masculinity, and I'm saying the same thing with integration. It's just we have to understand that like as men, we come from women, we share half of that DNA, and on a spiritual level, like you have to be able to understand like the give and take. Women bring a dynamic to our life, and they teach us how to learn to be more receptive to things, to love, to joy. We got to embrace that more as men. We still got to be, quote unquote, men protectors and providers,
Protectors. Yeah.
heads of the household and logically driven. But we also got to learn to be more intuitive. We got to learn to embrace our emotions and our feelings, say we're not okay all the time, to work on being okay, to understand okay is stages in life. Like when you had a kid, I'm assuming there were some moments where you weren't probably okay, but you were okay. And it's stages. It gets better.
Oh, go through that now.
So I was about to say, I'm thinking you probably there now.
Yeah.
So
And I have 13, 7, and 2. Two girls and then a boy. So it's a gap. I'm talking to so many different people, and I'm trying to be a student, and I'm trying to be a teacher. And I'm saying trying to be, but I'm being it. But it's like these are attempts. I don't have it together.
neither
That's
none of
that's
us
the big.
none of us do. And I
That's
think
the probably.
funny. Like what you said is a good point. As people read it, I want them to kind of see like you can do it imperfectly, and you just don't need to beat yourself up over it. Like I remember someone was like, "Yo, man, the pages ain't showing at the bottom. That's okay.
Yeah.
There's typos there."
And I told you, I mentioned that to you, and I was like, but as I'm reading it, I'm like, that's kind of life in a sense. I made an analogy yesterday to my homeboy, and I said, sometimes I think about life in traffic. We're all going in a direction. Some of us gonna get off the exit. Some of us going 70 miles per hour. Others going 50, and they're just fine. We can't look at someone's journey or someone's, the way the speed at what they're going and thinking, oh, I need to catch up to them. I need to go as fast as they're going.
facts.
I need to, because you'll probably end up running into similar barriers once you get, especially you in the Atlanta area. So I know you're running into traffic. Even if you live on the outskirts, you're still gonna run into traffic.
No, I'm saying you see that, man. Just where you at in Texas, man. Like it's the same. It's like
So,
if you're
oh
not in
yeah.
the area, the perimeter is still jumping, but it just
Hmm.
that's also another part of patience. Just I cannot make the traffic not be the traffic. I can't make people move faster. I can learn to just move through, the traffic and what it is. And I think that's the basic premise of like for black men who need therapy, like understand who you are and then learn how to flow with life. Like my pop, one thing he started telling me, he's like, when everything is going in a certain direction, you can feel it going right. He's like, you in the groove, you in the flow, like stay in the flow. Don't try to do stuff
Stay in the
outside of
flow.
it. You know what I'm saying? That's receptivity, like learning to, that's the thing women I think understand. Like things are going good. Go with the flow.
I learned that so much. My wife and I had a very, very tough conversation, and it's something that after 8 years of marriage, you just hit 8 years, 5th of July, 8 years of marriage. This
That's
is
a blessing.
probably the most we've talked. Oh, thank you. This is probably the most we talked about ourselves in 8 years. Like we able to talk to each other, able to really say, "You didn't make me happy during this," or "I feel this way right now. I wanted more out of this. I didn't see life going this way." And it's not necessarily that I don't care about you and I want it to end. It's just, there was a lot of things I say on my end that I should have been more accountable about, that she could have been more open and receptive to early on. But the fact that we did get to that through that, and that we're able to work together now and make things happen, it's a beautiful thing. As you spoke about men, I'm not sure that we're always ready to just put whatever out there to be like, you know what, wife, what you know what, girlfriend, whoever you are, whoever I'm dating, I'm not doing well right now. I need help. I don't just go out and chill with the homies because I don't want to talk to you. That's just they understand me or they get me. And it's not to say that she wouldn't get you, but a lot of times we're not honest enough, or we use the whole I don't express my emotions. I'm not an emotional person. And I'm like, yes, you are. you just you just displaying it differently.
That's
It's
it.
like you said, you're just like a woman in a sense, in many ways. So I don't know nobody take that out of context. If they do, you can ask me. But
I think
yeah,
you explained it in a good way. Like we all feel, we just express it differently. And it. I think part of being like a husband, that's the hardest thing I've learned is just you could be doing. It's not that you're not doing a good job. You just may not be. You might be moving like you might be moving efficiently but not effectively. Like you may be getting stuff done but it could have a bigger effect if you did it a certain way, or if you brought your partner in. And sometimes you are doing what you're supposed to do. You just got to understand, like, everybody's in their own journey. Your wife is learning how to receive certain things from you. She's learning how to be a mom, she's learning how to be a wife, and then there's levels of it. There's times where you're doing what you're supposed to do by trying to meet her halfway. She's learning how to receive that. It's times where I've had to try to learn how to receive love and things that she's giving, and I struggle with that. Like sometimes she's like, "Nah, you need to get that. You need to get that checked out. Nah, I'm good. Nah, you would say that to me." I'm like, "All right, well, that's true." It's learning how to let people love you. It's learning how to love people. And as men, man, a lot of times we struggle with having these conversations. Like I thought of one of my homies when I wrote this book, and when he talked to me, he was like, "Man, I learned a lot from it." I was like, "I wrote it kind of with you in mind because he's successful, but there's just some things I was trying to get him to understand. Like, dude, as men, we're not perfect, and women are guilty of certain things, but we're supposed to set the tone, and certain things we haven't done on our part create imbalances where women now feel like they have to do certain things or they have to be certain people. We have to acknowledge that."
absolutely. Yeah, man. I know we got comfortable, and I know we probably could talk all day, but I know we both have like things going on. But one big thing I want to highlight in the book was the Duck Funny story. But the Duck Funny, that was probably it was that one. It was one more, but I'm gonna just stick with that one for today.
Go
The
ahead.
Duck Funny part because for me, I'm 5'8", uh, 75 or 80, but I was much smaller then. But I had big feet like Doug. Like I felt like Doug all the time. Felt like I was really in a space of imagination and expression, but I couldn't really tell anybody. I felt like every up until even as I got older, when I joined the military at 20 years old and went through that phase, I was doing this then. I was having conversations with people. I was being a platform. I was always trying to make sure I kind of took care of everybody, make sure everyone was good, but I just didn't feel that it was received from everyone. And how did you, was that something you felt like, or was that also your friend in mind when you thought about when you took
No, that
that
was
route?
me, man, and that's why I try to pick it because I think a lot of us were Doug funnies in our own ways. Like in my instance, it was just like the awkwardness, uh, being creative but not really knowing how to express it as like a black person, as a person growing up in growing up around the inner city kids and stuff, being in the inner city, growing up around it. Sometimes you just struggle with who you are, and it's like it takes you time to learn as a man who you are is exactly who you're supposed to be, and there's nothing wrong with it. But because at first you want to fit in, that makes sense. So I picked that to reference me, but I was also saying like a lot of dudes we go through a lot of like chameleon changes through our lives where we feel like we got to be somebody to be accepted, and towards the end and I think women do too, but I think we end up coming around and being like, bro, I like anime, or I like this, I like that, I like Dungeons and Dragons, I
Yeah,
like whatever I like that.
I like get my nails
And
trimmed, things like that.
bro, I was getting my done last week, man, and my wife put me on. She's like, "You gotta take care of yourself." I was like, "You're 100%.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get my feet done. I'm gonna get my nails done. I'm gonna get whatever I need to get done because I'm a man. I'm a person. I'm a person. people should have these things. It's not a gender specific thing. You know what I'm saying? So.
No, that's beautiful, brother. But as we wrap up, man, Sam, I just wanted to thank you for your time, uh, sending prayers, light, sending love, guidance to you as a father to a father. I just want to say, please, please, no book is important, more important to this, man. Pretty
Man,
sure you have stay in your Bible as
amen.
people talk about I want blessings and all these things. Of like, do you even know what you're going into? Like you said, your friends is successful, but other people are successful in their own right. They may not talk about it. That a success may not look like something. It may be a feeling. It may be something that other people see in you. I'm probably the most successful person in my child's life right now. They don't know the difference. They don't understand that the moments when dad was unemployed. They don't understand the moments when dad was depressed or
Mm,
didn't know how to take care of things. But they always see me. I've always been present in their lives, and that's something I continue to do. So that for me to you, that's what I'll just say. Just continue being attentive, being that rock and that support for your wife, because she's gonna need you more than anything. Even if she rejects you, and try to get ahead of certain things like postpartum. Something I know I went through. I didn't realize it till later, and I know we don't talk about that much, but that's something I went through with two of my kids. So the last two, and so that man, that's just something I want to give light to you. And for you, please share your information, how people can find you whenever, this will go out soon. So I just wanted to make sure people know who you are. And when we revisit this conversation, we're going to jump right back into the book and then
for sure.
just talk about how that affects us.
For sure. No, no, man. Thank you again for having me on here. And we'll be wrapping really soon because I'm gonna need your help to get through this stage. But yeah,
Sure.
man. They can follow me on social media, man. I write under my pen name as an educator. You understand? So
Yep.
it's Solomon Hillfleet, SOLOMON Hillfleet, HILLFLEET. So Solomon Hillfleet on all platforms. And I can't wait to get people's perspective on it, man. And I just appreciate you. I know I heard the little one in the back. I know you got duties as well to do.
Hmm.
So
I'm telling you, every time I think it's a perspective thing. Like he knows I'm recording.
hmm
If he's in the house, he's like, "Hey, where's daddy? Where's daddy?" And that's probably how we're gonna start the next conversation. That's what I'm gonna title. Where's daddy? Because a lot of us need dads, and a lot of us need, even if, like you said, you got memories of your dad. Those memories gonna be with you forever. Where versus some people don't never had memories.
oh yeah,
They don't know their fathers.
but then it's still new father figures in my life now that are kind of jumping in the void.
Right.
You gonna always need it. So we yeah we
Yeah.
gonna talk.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it, man. Thank you for coming on. It's a dope spot, y'all. Uh, hopefully this felt is a safe space for you. Hopefully you felt comfortable, man. And look forward to your return. Blessings to you. And just take care of yourself. Enjoy whatever the day brings, brother.
Hey, same brother. And if I don't talk to you before school starts again, wishing you a great year. And next time I talk, man, I'm gonna have all the gizmos so we can really talk. And I have my headphones and stuff. But I
Okay. We'll make that happen.
for sure, man.
Hey, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to all y'all. It's a dope spot. J Wandoe, Sam Wright. Y'all
Peace,
make sure y'all check out that book and check out him on social media. Do that.
peace, y'all.
Yeah.